Welcome to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast with your host, legendary powerlifter and strength athlete, Chad Ikes. For most, the journey of strength starts in the gym, but should inevitably expand through all aspects of life. Join us as we discuss all things strength. Now, here's your host, Chad Ikes.
Hey guys, back again. Today, I want to talk about, I haven't even decided what I'm going to title this one or anything. It's probably going to be something like, so you think you're working hard, or you think you're a badass, or you think you're tough. So what really is that? And what I want to cover is just a few things that I've dealt with clients recently. I consider myself a thinker, so I'm always trying to advance myself, my business, my training principles. I'm always trying to improve on everything that I do, including myself personally. And I've been really looking at some of the things that I continually run in with training people, helping people and clients and stuff. And as I've mentioned before, this usually goes very deep into the mindset aspect of it. Just recently, I had a client go, I'm doing everything right and I'm not seeing the results. And my very first thought was, well, if you were doing everything right, you would see the results. So therefore, you're not doing everything right. And then after a few more days, I went, yeah, but there is a caveat to that. Maybe you are doing everything right and you just haven't given it the time to work. But I still lead towards my first statement. If you're doing it and if you've given it time to work, then you're not doing everything right. You're doing everything you thought was right. Because if you were doing everything right, you would see results. Like, that's just simple, like, that's math right there. That's 2 + 2 = 4. And I started thinking more and more about this and just how many people are out there. Like, how bad are the misconceptions that people have? I think it's actually pretty bad. And if you go through, if you're new to this, if you're new to fitness or health, new to wanting to lose weight, new to gaining strength, there is so much information out there now, and there's so much bullshit information out there. I do feel for people trying to weed through that. And what really is right, what really works. But I think the biggest problem with this is people want to just be told what to do. They don't want to use their brains. They don't want to think about it. You tell me what to do, and then I'll do it, and then I'll be successful. Personally, my opinion of what a coach is a guide. He's going to guide you along that trip. If I went and talked to a coach who goes, yep, I know exactly what you need to do this, 100% work, no perfect guarantee, full guarantee, I'm going to go, yeah, you're not the guy I want to talk to. I want to go to somebody that goes, you know what, I've been doing this a long time. I've helped a lot of people. Everyone that has come to me has improved in some way. Because no matter what happens, I'm going to keep working and I'm going to keep trying. And together as a team, we're going to figure out the right plan for you that works for you. I don't need that arrogant, over-the-top guy that thinks he knows everything. I want the guy that goes, listen, man, we're basically the same, but we're all a little bit different. How you look at things and what you're doing can affect what happens in here. So we need to kind of go at this and go, okay, here's the basis of our plan. Let's see how it goes. Let's modify it. Let's change it. I had a really good career in powerlifting. The whole time I was changing things, always. I love conjugate. So most of the time I was doing conjugate, but my conjugate program changed based on my strength. It was never the same. So I was always having to come up with new ideas. I was always having to figure out, why are the gains slowing? Okay, they're getting faster. Why are they getting faster again? Okay, let's remember this for next time. And you're always adding to it. You're always trying to solve it. That's one of the things I love about it. Is it's I don't think you could ever truly know everything. And I've sat down with some of the greatest strength athletes of all time. And the vast majority of them are like, man, I still got a lot to learn. And these are the guys that are absolutely amazing. And now I've known guys that claim they know what they're doing and they're mediocre. And I'm like, well, if you love the sport so much and you want to be strong so bad and you know it all, then why are you mediocre? Why aren't you amazing? Which is an interesting point of, why do most of the amazing people admit that they still need to learn more when most of the mediocre people think they know it all? That's something to definitely think about. Now, I think this also goes into, who are you listening to? Who are you watching? And why are you comparing yourself to anyone? So people, they think, okay, this is what I read, this is right. Well, this guy did it and it worked for him, so then it should work for me. It doesn't work that way. Not to mention, and this is a very simple, very logical thing. Do you think that if there was one nutrition program that was the best for everybody, do you think there would be so many different nutrition programs? If there was one strength training program that just worked for everyone that tried it, no matter what, don't you think that that would be the one that everyone would do and all the other ones would fade to the side? When I was competing at the best and I was in a warm-up room and I started looking at everybody, what everyone was doing, we were all doing something different. If there's one program, why were the top 20 super heavyweight lifters in the world all doing different stuff? If there's one program that works all the time for everybody. It's just not realistic. It doesn't work that way. Now, the other part of this, I don't think people spend the time. Well, I saw so-and-so and he's ripped up and this is what he does. Okay, well, how long has he been doing it? Is that what he did the whole time? Like, did he do something different to get to a certain point and now that's what's working for him? But he'll probably change as he keeps getting stronger or older. Like, what did he do the whole time? And why do you think that, like, what he did you should be equal to? And what if you're trying to do it in 3 months, what took him 5 years? Like, people see what they want to see instead of going, wait a minute, that guy looks pretty good. What he's saying kind of makes sense. Well, let me look deeper into it. Let me find out what's going on. And again, this goes back to, just tell me what to do. I don't believe this is the kind of thing, and I honestly don't believe anything is like this. It's not just tell me what to do. When I started my granite business, when I started working in the granite business, I had lots of background in other construction stuff. I had never really worked with stone. I didn't go, hey, just tell me what to do. I said, hey, can you explain to me what to do? And then I would ask questions. I wanted to understand it. Well, why am I doing this? If you just tell me to do this, I'm not learning. If I can understand why I'm doing this, then I'm learning. And fitness, because it's never going to stay the same, because you're always going to have to change things, you need to understand it to some extent. Your coach is your guide. He's not your goddamn mom. And he's not your dad. So I don't think you should even be looking for a coach to just tell me what to do. And speaking of that, I probably irritate my clients sometimes because I'll ask them questions and I'll be like, do you think that was right? Do you think you should be doing that? They're like, well, how many sets should I do? How many sets do you think you should do? Because I'm trying to get them to think. I'm trying to get them to learn. I'm trying to get them to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So that whole I'm doing everything right. No, you think you're doing everything right. And because you don't want to do any more work, you don't want to put the actual real work into it, you're trying to just rely on, why can't I just find one thing that tells me what to do and then I do it? Same thing. I worked in construction for many years. Well, not many years compared to my family. But in the Midwest, working out here, working with different guys, there's a lot of ways to do certain things. To me, the right way was the one that made sense to me, that was the most efficient. And I found that the older guys usually knew the more efficient ways. Now, the other thing is I had a client say, I'm busting my ass and I'm not seeing any results. This is stupid. I don't even know if I want to do this. And of course, my response to that was, yes, then maybe you shouldn't do it. I'm not about the money. I'm about helping people. And if you don't want me to help you, if you don't want to get better, you decide you don't want to do this, then I'll try to find someone else so I can keep my bills paid. I don't want you here if you don't want to do it. And I go, what you need to decide, are you willing to do the work it's going to take to reach that goal? If you're not, are you willing to adjust your goal? If somebody comes to me and goes, I want to lose 40 pounds and I want to do it in 4 months. Okay. Do you know what that's going to take? And we talk about what that's going to take. Now that you know what it's going to take, are you still willing to do that? Because if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to reach your goal. So you either adjust your goal or you just stop. And don't waste your time because you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, use your time to do something that's more productive in your life. I think health happens to be very productive in your life, but that's an individual thing. For me, this all kind of goes back to parenting. And the fact that we have a mother and a father for a reason. We have our loving mother that's always behind us and supports us. And we know that we have that one person that's always there. Then we have a dad who has to have the balls to tell you the truth, because you need to know the truth. You don't need to be fed bullshit. There's way too much bullshit being fed these days. You need your dad to go, yeah, you didn't make first string. You know why? You made these mistakes. You need to get stronger. You need to work harder. Then you can make first string. But if your dad goes, you're right, those coaches suck. It's all bullshit. You're the best player out there, when you really aren't, that's not doing you any good. It's building up a lame bullshit ego in your mind. It's not helping you. It's not making you a positive person. It's teaching you that the truth doesn't matter, that reality doesn't matter. Well, I feel like I'm the best. Well, I don't give a shit what you feel like. Either you are or you aren't. And I think in the fitness and health industry, this is taking a big effect too, where people don't, everybody's so worried about everyone's feelings that they don't tell them what they need to hear. You know, like with nutrition, I've had this recently with a couple clients. What are you eating? How much are you eating? Oh, I'm eating this and this. And I go, all right, tell me what your diet is. And we go over your diet and I'm like, that 4,000 you said you're eating, you're actually at about 2. Those 250 grams of protein is actually 150. How do you think you're going to get stronger if you're not feeding the machine? Or a good one is people that want to lose weight will cut their calories so low that they're not going to lose weight. Their body's going to think they're starving. And either you go way, way low and you lose all your muscle, or you feed your body so it can function properly and burn off fat. But again, people are like, oh, well, this is what I think is right, so this is what I'm going to do, and I'm doing what's right, and nothing's happening. You're not doing what's right. If you were doing what was right, it would be working. So instead of getting upset and pissed off, maybe you need to go, okay, something I'm doing is wrong. Let's start reevaluating. Let's change little bitty things at a time till we figure it out. Maybe instead of looking at all the social media for people that look good and looking to hear information that I want to hear, maybe I should actually do some real research and find out what people are doing that is actually working. Some people have good genetics for stuff, some people don't. There's always pluses and minuses. Some people can eat kind of crappy and get really lean because they have really good genetics. If you don't have really good genetics, why are you following that person? Why are you listening to that person? I mean, hey, listen to them. They probably have some good information. I don't think it's a complete accident they look the way they do. But just because they look the way they do doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And if you just look at them and go, this is what they're doing, well, where did they come from? Were they chubby like you at one time? And what did they do to start losing that chub? And then what they do now is probably different. How long did it take them to lose that chub? And if it's putting on muscle, you're like, I'm skinny and I'm not putting on muscle. I'm eating so much. No, you're not. Are you pooping 4 or 5 times a day? Do you hate food? Are you sick of eating? Like you can't hardly eat. I mean, like seriously, like you force shit down all day long. Well, then you're not eating enough. And they look at this bodybuilder and like, look, he's huge. And they might find a picture of when he was skinny, but they don't try to find out, man, that took him 10 years. For some reason, they think it happened in months, and that doesn't happen. So again, it's the mindset. People are not thinking, they're not using their brain. They're just trying to find what they want. They want to believe that somebody put 50 pounds of muscle on in a year. And even at that, they then want to do it in 6 months. And it's like, you already admitted you don't have the genetics. Like, what makes you think you could do that? And even if you did have the genetics, that would still be unreal. So I don't understand why people don't use their brain and go back into this, doing thorough research and actually finding out good stuff, finding out good information, setting realistic goals. Like all of this to me falls under mindset, and it's all very, very important. Why would you set yourself up for failure? That's just dumb. Set yourself up with realistic goals that you can obtain. Then focus on them little, small, daily, weekly, monthly goals that are going to take you to your big goals. And so I'm working really, really hard. And I'm like, I had a client say that to me and I go, you're lifting weights 3 days a week. So that's like 4 hours of training a week. And I'm like, you haven't been doing the walk-in, I said. You haven't been doing much of the stretching. Like, I don't, and even at that point, he had started walking more. And I'm like, really? You think that's busting your ass to you? To me, that's not busting my ass. That's like doing the bare minimum. Like, to me, 4 to 5 hours in the gym is like SOP. That's standard operating procedure. Cardio, the decent amount of cardio, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, stretching a couple times a week, actually knowing how many calories you're eating in your macros, like actually getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, like now you're borderline, you're working pretty good right there. I still won't say you're busting your ass, but you're working pretty good. So just because you think you're busting your ass, maybe you need to actually do some research and find out what busting your ass actually is. And then again, this goes back to social media too. So you're following somebody. It's really hard to follow social media and actually know what someone is doing. But a lot of people see him and they see all these great posts and they see him going out and they see him going out to eat. And they're like, oh man, these guys, they'd fucking do it. It's just easy for them. You don't know that. I don't know that many people that are actually really lean and shredded that don't actually do a shit ton of work to stay that way. I mean, even the people I know that are genetically pretty gifted, they still eat pretty clean. They have a really good idea of how much they're eating. They have a really good idea of their macros, if not knowing perfectly what they are. They exercise and move a lot. They don't sit around hardly at all. They make sure to get their sleep. But to them, that's normal. 8 to 9 hours of sleep is standard. That's the standard. Like if they're getting ready for a competition, they'll add naps in too. Like that's not busting ass. Just because you think it's busting ass doesn't mean it's busting ass. And now let's go back to along the lines of busting ass. People that go, I work so hard in the gym. I told a client today, I go, I don't care how much you sweat. I don't care how winded you act. I don't care how exhausted you act. That's not busting your ass in the gym to me. Just coming in here and lifting some weights, you're working out. That's not busting ass. Busting ass is coming in here with intent, with focus, knowing exactly what you're going to do, knowing every single movement of your body in every single exercise, knowing every muscle group that you need to work, what that exercise is for, and having the intent and the mind-muscle connection to make sure you're pushing that muscle as hard as you need to be pushing it. Just because you come in and you do a bunch of work, that's not busting ass to me. And the example I like of this was when I always was on the job sites a lot when I was a kid, from what I remember. And when I actually started working there, I'm like, dude, I ain't letting none of these old motherfuckers outwork me. There's no way. So I'm always trying to carry twice as much lumber as they did. I would have wheeled air compressors that you can do like a dump, like a wheelbarrow. I'd pick that sumbitch up and carry it. Like my brother, I worked with my brother for a while. He's like, hey, we need this many 2x4s. I go, I'm going to knock this shit out, man. And the funny part was at one point, I'm like watching some of the old dudes and I'm like, oh, I'm going to kick their ass, dude. I'm out working them, dude. I'm busting my ass. And then at the end of the day, them sons of bitches framed more walls than I did. And so I went, that's not impressive, Chad. You basically spent a whole shit ton of energy to do less work than they did. You're the dumbass. They're the smart guys. So then I started watching what they were doing and how they were working. And then I went, okay, now I'm going to work efficiently like them, and I'm going to do more. I'm going to take their efficiency and do it faster. Because I'm still not going to they will not get done more than I can. And so it was the same thing with weightlifting. Yeah, I can go in the gym and train 3, 4, 5 hours every day. But if my results aren't better, then what the hell is the point? Like, I wanted to be one of the best powerlifters in the world. That means lifting the most weight. Nobody gave two shit. Well, actually, people did care how often and how much I trained. I don't know why, because going to the meet and putting up the bigger number. Like, I had people that lifted way less than me that bitched and complained that I didn't work as hard as they did. And I always thought, well, dude, I'll help you out. Like, I'll help you get stronger. You know, you're overtrained. You need to kind of back off and let your body heal up. But they didn't want to believe that. They just wanted to work hard. And I thought, okay, well, that's cool if that's what you want to do. But why are you bitching that I work out less and beat you? Like, if you want to lift more, I'll help you lift more. I have the knowledge. I have the skills. I can help you. But they didn't want to hear that. They wanted to keep beating their head against the wall, thinking that they were working hard. And I'm like, you're not working hard because the results aren't there. You're good, but you could put 200 more pounds on your total if you would work more efficiently and smarter. So the same thing with one of my clients today. He's so fucking tight that he can't get in the right positions in the 3 main lifts. So instead of using all of his energy to lift that weight, he's using a ton of energy to fight his own body to try to get in position. And even then, he's not getting in position. So he cannot lift the most weight that his body is capable of because he can't put it in the structurally strongest place or position. Okay, then you're not busting your ass. Don't tell me you're busting your ass. Don't tell me how hard you're working. You're not stretching because you don't like it, because you think it's boring, because you don't want to do it. So you're not busting your ass. If you were busting your ass, you would be doing that stuff. You would be forcing down the calories that you need no matter what. Doing what you like to do is not busting your ass. People would comment how hard and how intense I work out in the gym. And I would always be like, I don't know. I like it. It's fun. I'm not doing I'm doing what's fun to me. That's not impressive. What's impressive is not letting myself train as heavy as often as I want to. What's impressive is forcing down the massive amount of food I had to eat to maintain 385 pounds of muscle. I hate stretching. I could do the splits. I hate stretching. The whole time I'm stretching, I hate it. I only like it afterwards when I go, I actually feel pretty good now. And I like it when I go to the meet and I can fucking hit a huge ass number because I have the flexibility to nail the perfect, most efficient position. And I didn't train my glutes and my hamstrings, but I'm too tight to get in position to use them. I'm able to sit back and use those muscles that I built. That's when I'm happy I did all that stretching. During the time, I hate it. I hate stretching. It bores the hell out of me. It's uncomfortable. It sucks. I like the results I get from it. I struggle with sleep. I don't like spending as much time in bed as I have to just to not even get enough sleep. But I know if I don't do that, it's going to be even worse. So, like, what do people think busting their ass is? Where do they come up with that idea? And why don't they spend more time looking at what people do and what they go through? And here's another one, like, to take this even further. You might see someone that eats all these healthy meals and all this healthy food. And you're like, well, they must enjoy it. How do you know they enjoy it? I know some guys that are lean as shit right now, and they were fatties. And they love snacky cakes and soda and all the shit that I love. They just don't eat it because they have willpower. And instead of bitching and complaining that they don't get to eat crap food all the time, they go, listen, I want to look like this. I like looking like this. This is the way I have to eat to make that happen. So you know what? I'm going to try to find the foods that I enjoy the most that are going to help me stay built like this. And instead of bitching and complaining all the time, I'm going to have gratitude that I can eat these foods and that I can stay looking like this. So I'm happy to eat this. But because you see them and you don't think they're depressed and pissed off about it, you think they love it. Which again is assuming and jumping to another conclusion that's just not true. Yeah, some people love fruit, some people love vegetables. My nieces and nephews have always loved it. I hate vegetables and I hate fruit. I don't eat them because I enjoy them. I eat them because I need to eat healthy. So the quality of work and the intent of work, these are the things that are busting your ass. When you cannot seem to master rooting. So when you're at work sitting in your chair, you every now and then stop and you focus on rooting your feet. When you're walking through the grocery store, you're thinking about rooting your feet. When you're standing in line, you root your feet just so you can keep practicing. If you have poor posture and you have really weak middle upper back, Well, then when you're at work, you're like, oh, sit back, squeeze them scabs together, hold them tight, depress my shoulders. Okay, so you're actually working on this stuff all the time. You're making these movements become habits. You don't have to be in the gym all the time to be putting your work in, to be busting your ass. Again, if you're slouching all day long, I don't know what makes you think you're busting your ass, but you're not. If you're continually reminding yourself to have good posture and stay up straight and open that chest up, well, now you're standard operating procedure. That's what you should be doing. I don't consider that busting your ass. But it's a whole lot closer to busting your ass than not doing any of it. And that's intent of work and quality of work and utilizing the whole day and as much time as you can to work on these things. And I just think like one of the biggest problems going on right now, like if I'm thinking in terms of like, what do I see is the biggest thing holding people back from obtaining their fitness goals, their weight loss goals, their weight gain goals, their strength goals? I really think it's mindset. And it's this whole how would I say it? It's this whole like deserving. They think they deserve everything. They think it should be easy, and then assuming what everyone else does. Like everybody wants to assume what the champion did, and they don't want to look into it, because I think if they look, I think something somewhere deep down, they know if they look into what that person did to get there, then they would have to recognize what it actually takes. People want to lose weight. People want to be thinner. People want to have a six-pack. But they don't want to do what it's going to take. So then they go, oh, that person's on steroids. Oh, that person has genetics. Oh, that person doesn't work as much as I have to work. And again, there's another one. Maybe that person took a job knowing he might not make as much money right now, but he wants to get in shape and be in shape, and his health is more important than working 80 hours a week like you do. And instead he doesn't own a big ass house. Instead, he doesn't own a really expensive car, but he decided, hey, my health is more important and I need time to have my health. Well, don't bitch that guy's got time to go for walks. Don't bitch that guy has time to train, or woman has more time to train. You chose to need to make so much money. They chose to go, money's only so important. So don't bitch about what they're doing. In fact, you should probably be going, man, that's cool that they made that choice. And if you respect that choice, then maybe you need to make that choice. Maybe you need to downsize some stuff so you have more time to put into your health and to put into who you are on the inside. So I think it's about finding, I don't know why everyone cares what everyone else is doing. Like, I don't understand it. And I don't understand why they look at it from a jealous standpoint. I never did, and I don't to this day. Even when I was drug-free, when I thought I would never go on steroids and I would never do that, I never once went, oh, well, that person's on steroids. I went, I'm going to find a way to get there. I go, that's awesome, man. Those guys are strong as hell. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. That's great. I never got mad when I saw someone break a world record. I never got mad when somebody broke my world record. To me, that was just motivation. Awesome. That's cool. Now I'm going to take it back. They just pushed me. They just pushed me and challenged me to be even better. To this day, like the numbers that were big when I was powerlifting, like there's guys doing some raw numbers now that we did in gear. I'm not jealous. I think it's awesome. I think it's great that the sport expanded. It's great that these guys are pushing to the limits. I want to know what they're doing different. I want to know how they got there. Like, I'm fascinated by it. I think it's awesome and incredible. I want to see everyone do great. And I also want to do great. So I don't know why people are always looking at everyone and they're criticizing them. Like, look at them. I mean, if you want, motivation is, you're not going to be successful in motivation alone. You have to have discipline. But motivation can be a tool. If you can find motivation, find it. Like, watch videos of successful people and go, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. I'm going to try to find out what that guy did to get there and how long it took him and what he went through. So I can have solid information of give myself some good realistic goals. So I don't understand why people give two shits what everyone else is doing, unless you're going to use that as motivation. If you're going to use that as, okay, right now the top 10 are these numbers. I need to get around those numbers to make the top 10. Or whatever it is. Or go, hey, the average gym goer can't bench 315. I want to bench 315. I want to be above average. And that's a good goal too. I tell the story all the time. My one training partner, Ethan, he came to me. Actually, I kind of made fun of him in the gym for a long time, but we would talk every now and then, and he always asked questions because we were doing stuff that no one else was doing, and he had the balls and the mindset to want to grow and want to learn. So he was like, "Hey, can I talk to you? Can I ask you guys what you're doing and why you're doing it?" And eventually, I go, "Dude, why don't you just train with us?" And he started training with us. But one of the best things, one of the coolest things he ever did is he goes, listen, here's the deal, man. I used to do ranching and rodeo, and I've been smashed by a bull. I've had both clavicles screwed up. I've had my shoulders screwed up. I've went through this and that. I have a wife and a daughter and a full-time job. I'm not trying to be a world record holder, but I have this much time that I can put into this, and I will dedicate 100% of that time to this. I want to be the best I can based on that. And that was still to this day was one of the coolest things I ever had any of my teammates come up and say. Because I think that's a very awesome, very realistic, great way to approach it. Because then you don't go, I'm trying to be a world record holder, and everybody trying to be. You're not trying to be a world record holder because you've already admitted you're not going to do what it would take for that. Now, in hindsight, I was the opposite. I went, here's what I'm going to do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to do it. And I'm willing to give whatever I have to give. That meant quitting jobs. That meant working at jobs I hated. That meant selling things that I thought I would never sell. That meant putting all my money into powerlifting. That meant not taking vacations. That meant not going hiking on the weekends when I wanted to. That meant I'm going to give 100% to this. I am going to sacrifice 100% to go as far as I can in this sport. And I really don't give two shits what somebody's goals are. I care that they set a goal, and I care about them achieving the goal. If you came to me and went, man, I just want to bench 225. I'd like to do 225 for 10. Right on, man. Awesome. Great. You got a goal. We can obtain that from what you told me you're willing to give. Spot on. We can do this. That's realistic. I don't look, if somebody came and went, Chad, I want to be the best bench presser in the world. I don't look at those two people any different. A world record doesn't make you a great person. Benching 225 doesn't make you a great person. I just want to help good people reach their goal, whatever it is. So I don't care what your goal is. I care that you're challenging yourself, that you're putting yourself out there, that you're saying, here, I want to do this. Here's what I'm willing to give. Is that enough? If not, let's adjust the goal. Or let's change what I think I'm going to give, and maybe I can give a little more. So to me, that kind of stuff doesn't matter. You know, as far in terms of the goal, just have a goal. Just go for something. If I have people that might come in and go, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds. All right, cool, man. Here's what we're going to need to do. You willing to do that? Yeah, awesome. Let's get going. Let's help you reach that goal. So I don't know if people think I think people have come up to me before and go, I want to be a world record holder, because they think that I'm going to be impressed by that. First of all, when it comes to human beings, I would say I'm probably pretty pessimistic from my experience, because I get a lot of people that claim they want to do stuff, and then when it comes time to do it, they don't want to do it. I get a lot of people that say they'll work really hard, but they don't want to do it. Like the people that go, okay, I want to lose weight. I really want to lose weight. And I go, all right, I put together a couple diet plans for you. Here's what we're going to do. I don't like eating that. I can't eat that. No, I don't want to eat that much. No, I don't like that. Stretching. No, I'm not going to stretch. Well, then you don't want to achieve your goal. No, yeah, I do. I go, no, you don't, because this is what it's going to take to achieve your goal. You don't want to do it. Therefore, you do not want to achieve your goal. It's really pretty goddamn simple. And if your trainer is not telling you these kind of things, I suggest you find another trainer. Find a trainer that's going to tell you the truth. And to be quite honest with you, if I'm training you and you don't want to achieve your goals, or you're not going to work towards your goals, I might recommend you go see somebody else. Because I want to help people achieve their goals. That's more important to me than even the money that I make. Which is probably crazy, but whatever. I'm crazy. So I think there's this huge disconnect between what people truly want, how they think that they're going to get there, and honestly, a disconnect with themselves. Like, I don't think they're honest with themselves. Like, it's easy to say, I want to do this or I want to do that. And like a big one, I hear a lot of women talk about wanting to be thin and wanting to be skinny. And they're harsh on other girls that are in shape. It can be extremely harsh to girls that are in shape. Again, they don't know what that girl did or didn't do. They don't know the work that girl's putting in. And if they don't want to put in the work, don't be jealous of that person. Like, they put in the work. You don't want to. But for some reason, and to me, I've already said this a couple times. If you go, I just want to lose 40 pounds. And I go, okay, here's how to lose 40 pounds. And you go, but no, I can't do that. I can't stop drinking alcohol. I can't stop, like, eating snacky cakes. Like, well, then you don't really want to lose 40 pounds. Like, because that's what it's going to take. You want to bitch about not losing 40 pounds, and you want to bitch about people that are 40 pounds lighter than you, but you don't really want to lose 40 pounds. Otherwise, you would do it. Because it's not that hard. It's not the end of the world. It's some dedication. It's some discipline. It's changing your mindset and changing your lifestyle. It's really not all that hard. And if it took you 6 years to put those 40 pounds on, they're not going to come off in 2 weeks. At least not healthy. I think history will show that you can lose a lot of weight, but it can be really unhealthy. We've had plenty of times in a lot of countries where people lose a lot of weight, but they're not eating, or they're not eating healthy, or they're being forced into camps and all kinds of other stuff. Everybody can lose weight. How badly do you want it? And if you don't want it bad enough, then stop saying it. Stop saying you want it. Or admit it. Go, I'd love to lose 40 pounds, but I'm not going to do the work. I do that all the time. I'm not shredded. I don't look like a bodybuilder. I don't have a 24/7 six-pack. You know why? Not because I can't have it, because I don't want to do what it would take. I'm not going to eat that specific to do what it would take. And my sleep plays a role in that, but I mean, I could still do it. I would just have to be really, really tight on it. And at this point in my life, I don't want to be that tight about it. I'm okay with how I look. I'm fine. I'm gradually leaning and gradually losing weight, and I'm perfectly content with it. And I'm content with it because I know what it takes to do it. And I know that that's not what I want to do. The same thing with my strength. As I get older, I've accepted that my health is now more important to me than being strong. I've accepted that at 52, being 380 pounds isn't very healthy. I am down to like 305, which is still too heavy, but I'm doing a really good, steady, slow drop after COVID, which COVID just screwed me and I put a ton of weight on. Thank you, Fauci. So I'm working on it and my plan is going just fine. So I want to be as strong and as big as I can based on my health at my age. Not the other way around. Before it was, I want to be as strong as I can. And yeah, if I'm healthy, cool. If not, whatever. I just want to be strong as shit. So those are the stipulations to my goals. And my goals are set up around those concepts. So I think that's pretty much it. My biggest takeaway from this podcast that I want people to take away from is like, it's not about what you feel. The weight doesn't give two shits that you feel like you're working hard. The scale doesn't give two shits that you feel like you're doing so much. So stop feeling like you're doing this and look realistically at what you are doing. Listen to your coach when he says, hey, if you want to do more, if you want to lose faster, or you want to gain stronger, you need to do these other things. And as a coach, I wonder this sometimes as a coach. Do people really understand how frustrating it is for me? And frustration is a feeling, and that's my own fault. And it's something I'm continually working on. It frustrates me when somebody tells me they have a goal. And then through asking questions, through watching them, I find out they're not doing what they said they've been doing. Or they're not doing what I told them to be doing. And so this is taking us way longer to reach that goal than I had planned. That frustrates me. Not a lifelong worry about it all the time, but it's like, man, you could have just told me you're not doing it. You could have said no. When we first started, you could have said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And then I would go, okay, well, then you're probably not going to reach that goal that you have. So let's set up a goal that maybe you can reach. Because it is important to me that my clients are successful. And I will say that my older clients, first of all, I think my older clients are tougher than most of my younger ones. But my older clients set up more realistic goals. They're like, yeah, this is quality of life. Here's what my goal is. My goal is to get in a little better shape every year and stay in a decent shape as I get older. So I'll have one of my clients, I'm like, all right, where's your weight at? And he's like, I kind of really didn't lose this much this week, but I went out for breakfast and we had biscuits and gravy and we had this and we had this. And he goes, so it's kind of my own fault. And at least they're willing to go, yeah, we set this goal up. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So, They're not blaming anyone else. They're not complaining about somebody being skinnier. They're not saying they're busting their ass. Like, they're just being realistic about it. And I have a lot more respect for that. Like, just be realistic. You know, don't say that you're working so hard and you're not making your goal if you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't tell yourself you're busting your ass when you're not. Like, I think that's truly one of the biggest things our society we need to really work on. We're telling everybody they're great and everybody they're special and all this other shit. And truly, deep down, I feel anybody who watches my stuff, I think everyone has greatness inside of them. But it's up to them if they want to fight for that greatness. If they want to pull it out and utilize it and actually become great. You're not just great. You're not just special. You're just another person on this planet. If you want to work for that and you want to push that out and you want to set yourself aside from everyone else, everybody can. That's up to you. All right, guys, I know this one was a little chaotic, but it was just some thoughts I had in my mind, some thoughts I think people need to hear and recognize. I'm all about positive mental attitude. I'm all about setting big goals and being positive towards those goals. But there's a certain amount of fucking reality that you need to listen to. There's a certain amount of reality that's going to play a factor in where you're actually going to get. Acting like reality doesn't happen isn't going to do anything for you. How you feel and what you think doesn't make it so. Check out Courage Barbell YouTube channel. Check out my Instagram, Chad Ikes. I'm out of here.
Thanks for listening to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast. For more information, please visit CourageBarbell.com. Until next time.